There's a question that's been messing with people's heads for generations. You meet someone, she smiles, she laughs at your jokes, maybe touches your arm when she talks, and suddenly your mind starts spinning. Is she into me or is she just being nice? And the truth is, sometimes even she doesn't know. So before you start overanalyzing every smile and text message, let's break this down. Let's talk about what's really happening when a woman seems interested and how you can tell the difference between genuine attraction and simple friendliness. Attention is easy to give, intention is rare. In life, you'll notice that most people can offer you their attention for a moment, but only a few will offer their true intention. Think about it. How many people smile at you when you walk into a room? How many nod politely when you talk? How many say, "We should catch up sometime," and never do? Attention costs nothing. It's quick, convenient, disposable. But intention, that's where the truth lies. Intention takes effort. It takes care. It's when someone's energy doesn't just visit you for a moment. It stays with you long after they've left. Imagine this. You're at work. You tell a story about something funny that happened to you. A few coworkers laugh, nod, and move on with their tasks. That's attention. They heard you. They acknowledged you. Now imagine one person later comes back and says, "Hey, you mentioned that thing earlier. How did it go afterward?" That's intention. Because they remembered. Because they cared enough to carry that moment forward. That's what separates politeness from genuine connection. It's the same in dating. A polite woman might text you back because it's the right thing to do. She'll smile when you greet her. She'll say thank you when you compliment her. But when a woman has intention, her energy feels different. She doesn't just respond, she engages. She asks follow-up questions. She looks you in the eyes when you speak, not because she's trying to be nice, but because she's actually interested in who you are beyond the surface. It's not about the words she says, it's about the warmth behind them. We live in a time where attention is everywhere. Likes, views, messages, emojis. They're all attention. But intention is rare currency. It's when someone's actions match their words. When someone doesn't just hear you, they listen. When they don't just show up, they stay. In relationships, this difference matters more than most people realize. Too many fall for the attention and end up hurt when it fades. They mistake politeness for passion, curiosity for care. And that's when confusion begins. Because attention will always feel good, but intention will always feel right. You can tell when intention is present. It's in the way she remembers small details you didn't think mattered. The way she notices your mood even when you don't mention it. The way her messages aren't just replies, but reflections of thought. It's not random, it's deliberate. It's when she leans into the conversation not to impress, but to connect. When she asks, "How was your day?" Not out of routine, but because she genuinely wants to know. Intention makes space for you. Attention only looks at you. People often say, "I don't know what she meant." But deep down, they do. The confusion comes because they want attention to mean something more. But attention is just the spark. Intention is the fire that keeps it burning. It's the difference between someone checking on you because it's convenient and someone checking on you because they care. Think about it. When you're sick, many people will say, "Get well soon." That's attention. But the one who calls to ask if you've eaten, the one who brings you soup, the one who shows up, that's intention. We all crave intention, but most of us settle for attention because it's easier to find. And yet, the people who change your life, the ones who leave a mark, they don't give you half-hearted energy. They don't make you question where you stand. They don't make you guess. When someone truly intends to know you, you'll feel it in the calm of their presence, not in the chaos of mixed signals. In love, in friendship, in work, even in how you treat yourself. Intention changes everything. Imagine applying that same energy inward. You can give yourself attention for a day, go to the gym once, read a quote, feel motivated. But when you act with intention, you build consistency. You don't just try, you commit. You don't just want results, you create them. It's the same principle. Attention notices the problem. Intention solves it. When a woman truly intends to connect, it's in the subtle things. She might adjust her schedule just to see you, remember your favorite drink, Notice when something's off in your tone. It's never loud or dramatic, it's quiet but deep. She may not tell you everything with words, but her effort will speak volumes. And that's the difference. Intention speaks even when silence fills the room. People often chase signs. She smiled, she laughed, she complimented me. But politeness wears those same signs too. The real question isn't, what did she do? It's why did it feel different? Intention has a pulse. It stays consistent. Politeness fades the moment the interaction ends. It's like rain on glass, visible for a moment, then gone. Intention, though, is like a seed. It grows quietly, slowly, with meaning. You can sense it in timing. When she texts first, not because she's bored, but because she was thinking of you. When she remembers a random story you told weeks ago. When she follows up on something small that most people would forget. That's not habit, that's purpose. And in a world full of temporary interactions, purpose is magnetic. So, the next time you feel confused, slow down and observe. Don't rush to label her actions. Instead, feel the energy behind them. Attention is surface level, intention runs deep. Attention flatters your ego, intention nourishes your soul. Attention fades when it's no longer convenient, intention stays even when it's uncomfortable. This lesson doesn't just teach you how to read others. It teaches you how to live. Give attention where it's deserved, but give intention where it's meaningful. Build relationships not on convenience, but on care. Don't chase who looks your way. Notice who stays when no one's watching. Because in the end, attention will make you feel seen for a moment, but intention will make you feel valued forever. Body language is the conversation that happens beneath the words, the silent language that tells the truth when the mouth tries to hide it. You can say anything with your lips, but your body will always whisper what's real. And when it comes to knowing if someone is genuinely interested in you or just being polite, that's where the truth lies. Not in what she says, but in what she does without even realizing it. Think about it. When someone enjoys your presence, their body forgets to act, their posture softens, their eyes stay a little longer on you than necessary. They lean in, not because they plan to, but because their curiosity pulls them closer. It's the quiet, unconscious signals that speak louder than the smoothest words ever could. You can't fake genuine energy for long. Eventually, the truth leaks out through your gestures, your eyes, your breathing, the small ways you position yourself around someone. Imagine sitting across from her at a coffee shop. You're talking, maybe even laughing. If she's polite, she'll listen, smile, keep her hands neatly on the table, posture straight but distant, a careful balance between friendliness and boundaries. Now imagine her leaning forward slightly, her shoulder angling toward you, her chin resting on her hand as she watches you talk. That's not politeness. That's attention mixed with interest. Her body is already reaching out before her words catch up. Humans are emotional mirrors. When we like someone, we unconsciously reflect their movements. If you take a sip of your drink and she does the same a moment later, if you lean in and she mirrors you, that's connection. Her body is sensing with your rhythm. It's not rehearsed. It's instinctive. We mirror those we feel safe around, those we want to understand more deeply. But when she's closed off, arms folded across her chest, her feet pointed away, her body angled toward the exit, that's distance. That's her energy saying, this space is enough. She may still be smiling, nodding, engaging politely, but the subtle barriers she builds with her body tell a different story. The irony is, most people look for signs in words, while the truth is quietly acting out in front of them. There's something magnetic about true attraction. It's not in the dramatic gestures, it's in the small, unintentional ones. Like how her eyes drop to your lips for a second when you're talking, or how she brushes her hair back, even when it's not in her face. It's in the way she laughs. Not the polite chuckle she gives everyone, but that uncontrollable, free laugh that escapes before she can stop it. That's her body letting its guard down. And if you want to understand this better, look at your own behavior. Remember a time you were around someone you genuinely liked. Did you notice how your heart raced just a bit faster? How you found yourself standing a little closer than usual? How your smile came effortlessly? You weren't trying to impress, your energy was simply responding. That's what real chemistry feels like, effortless. On the other hand, Think of a situation where you felt obligated to be polite, maybe at a family gathering, a formal meeting, or with someone who clearly wanted more of your attention than you were comfortable giving. Notice how you kept a bit of physical space, how your posture stiffened, how your smile felt practiced. Your body knew how to protect your energy even when your words stayed kind. That's the thing. The body protects what the heart doesn't choose. Politeness is the armor, attraction is the invitation. And once you start paying attention to those subtle differences, you'll stop confusing one for the other. Look closely at how her energy behaves when she's near you. If she finds small excuses to touch your arm when she laughs, if her knees or shoulders face you when she's sitting, if her eyes find yours even in a crowded room, she's not just being nice. She's drawn to you. She's trying to connect without spelling it out. It's in those unspoken gestures that truth hides. Sometimes the body says, "I like you," long before the mouth ever dares to. And sometimes the mouth says, "I like you," while the body quietly says, "Please keep your distance." It's up to you to listen to the right language. You'll also notice something powerful about people who are confident in their intentions. Their body language is calm, open, easy. They don't rush to fill silences. They don't fidget or shrink themselves. They create space, but they also welcome it. When a woman is genuinely into you, she's not performing. She's present. She's engaged. You can see it in the small details. Her eyes light up when you walk in. Her body naturally orients toward yours. She forgets to check her phone because your presence already holds her attention. But if she's polite, she'll keep everything balanced. She'll listen but won't linger. She'll smile but won't lean in. Her laughter will end neatly at the surface, like a wave that touches your feet but never pulls you in. Watch the pauses. People's true selves live in those pauses, between words, between glances. If she looks down shyly after making eye contact, if she plays with something in her hand to hide a nervous spark, that's interest trying to stay composed. If she maintains a perfect posture, steady tone, and controlled distance, that's someone staying in polite territory. You don't need to be an expert in psychology to notice these things. You just need to be still enough to observe. Our instincts are sharper than we realize. We just forget to trust them. Your intuition reads her body language before your brain starts analyzing it. That quick gut feeling you get around someone, that's your body understanding theirs. In a world where words can be rehearsed, edited, or filtered, body language remains the most honest reflection of who we are in the moment. It's the silent music of connection, the rhythm of truth that plays when our guard slips. Once you learn to read it, you stop asking for clarity, because the body always tells the truth. A smile can fool almost anyone, but not the person who knows how to listen with their eyes. There's a difference between the smile that lives on the lips and the one that blooms from the soul. The first is polite, practiced, meant to fill silence and smooth tension. The second is raw, unfiltered, and alive. When someone truly means it, the smile doesn't stop at their mouth, it travels through them, lighting their face like sunrise through clouds. Think about how often you see smiles in your day, from the barista who hands you your coffee, from the coworker who passes by in the hallway, from strangers on the street. They're gestures of civility, signals of safety, part of the silent contract of living together. But every now and then, you meet a smile that catches you off guard, one that makes you pause for a second longer than you meant to. That's not just a polite reflex, that's connection. A polite smile is like a quick hello at a traffic light, warm but brief. A real smile feels like home, it's unguarded, it doesn't ask for anything, it just happens. You can sense it before you even fully see it, the way light softens in someone's eyes, the way their expression shifts with genuine emotion. When someone gives you that kind of smile, you feel noticed, not just seen. It's like your presence stirred something human inside them, something honest. Imagine you're telling a story, not necessarily a funny one, just something that means something to you. Some people will smile because they're supposed to, out of courtesy. But then there's that one person who smiles as if they understand the heartbeat behind your words. They don't just smile with their face. They smile with their eyes, with their attention. Their energy leans into yours. That's a real smile, and you'll remember it for days. We live in a world where smiling has become a mask. People smile when they're exhausted, when they're anxious, when they're trying to fit in. We post smiles on social media even when our hearts are breaking. It's not deception, it's survival. But the tragedy is, the more we fake it, the harder it becomes to recognize what's real. That's why a genuine smile feels so disarming. It breaks the routine of pretense. It reminds you that authenticity still exists, that not everything in this world is filtered or staged. A real smile doesn't demand perfection. It shows flaws, slightly crooked teeth, crinkled eyes, cheeks that lift unevenly. That's what makes it beautiful. It's vulnerable. It's human. You can't fake the way eyes light up when they see something or someone they truly appreciate. The pupils dilate, the muscles around the eyes soften, and the energy shifts. It's like the body itself forgets to maintain the facade for a moment. There's a story behind every real smile. Sometimes it's gratitude, sometimes admiration, sometimes quiet relief. Maybe it's the smile of a mother seeing her child walk through the door safely at night, or the smile of an old friend who thought they'd never reconnect with you again. Maybe it's the smile of someone hearing a genuine compliment after years of self-doubt. These are the smiles that heal, not because they fix anything, but because they acknowledge something real. In relationships, a real smile is everything. When she smiles because she's genuinely happy around you, her whole face tells the story. Her eyes soften, her tone changes, her body relaxes. She's not performing, she's present. She's not trying to make you feel good, she's responding to how you make her feel. A polite smile is obligation, but a real one is reaction, the kind that escapes before the brain catches up. Think of the last time someone made you laugh unexpectedly, not because they were trying too hard, but because they said something that hit you right in your honest, unguarded place. That moment when you couldn't help but laugh, maybe even snort or hide your face because it was too genuine. That's the same place real smiles are born from, the moments that bypass logic and land straight in the heart. There's also a kind of healing power in real smiles. When someone gives you one, especially on a day you're struggling, it can shift your entire energy. You can walk into a room feeling invisible and walk out feeling seen, simply because one person looked at you like you mattered. That's what true human connection does. It doesn't need words, it doesn't ask for permission. It just reminds you that you belong to something greater than loneliness. And that's the thing, you can't chase real smiles. You can only earn them. You earn them through authenticity, through being present, through showing up as yourself without the performance. When people feel safe around you, they let their real smiles out. They don't hide behind politeness. They don't worry about how they look or what you'll think. They just exist with you in that moment, open and unfiltered. So much of modern interaction is transactional. We smile to be liked, to appear approachable, to avoid awkwardness. But deep inside, what we crave is someone who makes us forget we're supposed to perform. Someone whose presence pulls out our real smile, the one that hasn't been rehearsed, the one that says, "I feel seen." That's why genuine people are so magnetic. They make you drop your guard without even trying. Real smiles are rare because truth is rare, but when you find them, protect them. They're the markers of connection in a world full of noise. They remind you that under all the polite layers, we're all just people trying to feel something real. And sometimes, all it takes to change someone's day, maybe even their life, is to give them a smile that comes from the heart, not from habit. Because even though words fade and actions blur with time, the memory of a genuine smile, that feeling of being truly seen, stays with you far longer than you realize. Time is the one thing we all claim not to have, yet it's the one thing that always tells the truth about what we value. You can pretend to like someone, you can fake a smile, you can even force a laugh, but you can't fake where you choose to spend your time. It's the ultimate measure of intention. When a person gives you their time, they're giving you a piece of their life they'll never get back. That's not politeness, that's purpose. Think about it. We all live in a world that runs on urgency. Everyone is rushing somewhere, to work, to meetings, to deadlines, to routines that never seem to stop. Time is currency, and everyone is careful with how they spend it. So when someone pauses that rhythm for you, when they make space in their crowded day just to hear your voice or share a moment, that's not random, that's deliberate. A woman who's being polite will make the conversation smooth but short. She'll laugh, she'll respond, but she'll also have one foot out the door. She'll glance at her phone, mention she's got things to do, and gracefully exit the moment. There's no harm in that. It's just courtesy. But when she's genuinely interested, everything changes. Suddenly, time doesn't feel like something she's managing. It feels like something she's enjoying. She'll linger in the silence after a laugh. She'll find reasons to keep the conversation alive. Maybe she asks one more question. Maybe she tells one more story. Maybe she just doesn't want to say goodbye yet. That's not politeness. That's her choosing presence over pretense. In life, people make time for what matters. It's that simple. If she keeps showing up, if she checks in without needing a reason, if she remembers small things you said in passing and brings them up later, she's telling you through her actions that you matter. It's not about grand gestures, it's about consistent effort. Because effort is love's native language and time is its proof. You can see this principle everywhere. When someone truly values a friendship, they'll drive across town at midnight just to talk. When someone loves what they do, they'll stay up late working on it, not because they have to, but because they want to. When someone's in love, minutes feel like seconds, and hours pass without notice. It's not magic, it's focus. When something or someone feels meaningful, time bends around it. And yet, most people ignore this sign. They fall for words instead of watching where someone invests their hours. They listen to promises like, "I'll call you soon," or "we should hang out sometime," without realizing that if someone truly wanted to, they already would. Interest doesn't hide. It doesn't postpone, it acts. Imagine two people texting. One replies hours later with short answers, polite but distant. The other replies quickly, thoughtfully, and with curiosity. One is maintaining contact, the other is nurturing connection. Both are polite, but only one is present. The difference isn't in the words, it's in the energy behind them. A woman who truly wants to be around you won't always say it directly. She'll show it in the way she stretches a 5-minute conversation into an hour. She'll mention that she has to go, but somehow stays anyway. She'll tease, she'll ask, she'll listen. Her laughter will come easy because she's comfortable, and you'll notice that even when the conversation ends, she finds ways to start it again later. Think of the people who have made you feel truly special in your life. It wasn't just because of what they said, it was because they showed up. They stayed when they didn't have to. They listened when everyone else was too busy. They remembered things you didn't even know you had told them. That's what makes time sacred. It's not measured by clocks, but by presence. In the chaos of life, attention is scattered. We multitask, we scroll, we divide our energy between 10 different things. So when someone gives you undivided attention, it feels different. When they put their phone down while you speak, when they ask questions that go deeper than surface level, when they truly hear you instead of just waiting to reply, that's a kind of intimacy we often overlook. The truth is, people will always make time for what excites them, for what feels right, for what brings them peace or curiosity or joy. So if she's giving you time, don't question it too much. That's the loudest form of communication she has. And if she isn't, accept that too. It's not rejection, it's redirection. Because time doesn't lie, and neither does consistency. There's also something powerful about the quality of time. 5 minutes of real, focused energy can mean more than hours of distracted company. A single, intentional moment can leave a mark that lasts for years. Remember that it's not always about quantity, it's about presence. And when a woman is truly into you, her presence is unmistakable. She's not just there physically, she's emotionally invested. She listens, she reacts, she remembers. People often mistake availability for interest, but they're not the same. Availability is about circumstance. Interest is about choice. When someone chooses to spend time with you despite having other options, that's something to pay attention to. That's their way of saying, without words, that they see value in you. And maybe this idea extends beyond relationships. Think about how you spend your own time. What do you prioritize? Who do you show up for? Because just as others reveal their truth through their time, so do you. Every hour you give to someone or something is a quiet declaration of importance. So choose wisely and learn to recognize when someone is choosing you, not out of politeness, but out of genuine desire to share space, to connect, to build something real. Consistency is the quiet language of truth. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, but it's always there, steady like heartbeat. In a world where people's moods shift like the wind, where words are tossed around without weight, consistency is rare, almost sacred. It's the difference between someone who talks about care and someone who shows it without needing to announce it. When someone's energy towards you doesn't change depending on the day, the crowd, or their convenience, that's when you know it's real. Think about how most people behave. At first, they're warm, full of energy, full of promises. They text you constantly, they make plans, they say all the right things. But slowly the excitement fades. The replies get shorter, the effort starts to feel optional. One day they're close, the next they're distant. You're left wondering if you did something wrong, when in reality they just weren't consistent to begin with. Consistency isn't about perfection, it's about presence. It's about showing up even when it's not easy, even when the excitement has worn off. Imagine someone who calls you not only when they need something, but just because they thought of you. Someone who talks to you the same way whether you're alone or surrounded by people. Someone whose warmth doesn't depend on circumstance. That's real, that's consistency. It's not about grand gestures, it's about stability. It's about being able to trust that their energy tomorrow will look a lot like it does today. People underestimate how powerful consistency is because it's not flashy, it doesn't make noise, but it builds trust in the most natural way. When someone is consistent, your guard starts to drop. You stop second-guessing their intentions. You stop replaying every conversation in your head, looking for hidden meanings. Because their pattern tells you everything. They're here, they care, and they mean it. Life teaches you that anyone can impress you once, but only consistency can earn your respect. You can buy flowers one day, send good morning texts for a week, show up with smiles when things are easy. But who are you when it's inconvenient? When the mood shifts? When the spark fades? That's the real test. And it's in those quiet, unglamorous moments that true connection proves itself. You can feel the difference between someone who's consistent and someone who's performing. A person who's performing runs on attention. A consistent person runs on intention. A performer gives you highs and lows, a rush and a crash. A consistent person gives you peace. They're not trying to overwhelm you. They're trying to understand you. They don't chase drama. They build rhythm. Take something simple, a daily routine. When you wake up and make your bed, brush your teeth, start your day the same way, it shapes your mindset. Consistency creates reliability. It's the same in relationships. When someone treats you with the same kindness every day, it builds a sense of emotional safety. It tells you, I'm not here to play with your expectations. I'm here to stay steady. And that's a rare kind of reassurance. In love, people often mistake intensity for consistency. They think passion means depth, but passion without consistency burns out. It's like fire with no oxygen. Beautiful for a moment, gone the next. Real love doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need constant validation. It's steady, it's patient, it's present. It shows up on good days and bad without making you wonder where it went. Look at nature. The sunrise, the tide, the seasons. They all follow patterns. They don't rush, they don't panic. They simply exist with rhythm. That's why we trust them. And that's why consistency feels so comforting. It's part of the natural order of things. Chaos confuses the mind, but rhythm calms it. That's why when someone is inconsistent, it makes you anxious. It's not just emotional, it's biological. Your brain starts searching for patterns and finds none. It's exhausting. People who lack consistency often confuse others not because they're cruel, but because they're unclear with themselves. One day they feel connected, the next they pull away. They send mixed signals not out of malice, but out of confusion. But someone who knows themselves, who's emotionally aware, stays consistent, because they don't act based on impulse, they act based on value. Think about your own life, the friends who have stood by you through seasons, the family members who show up without being asked, The mentor who checks on you long after you've left their class. You trust them because they're consistent. They're proof that care doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. They remind you that reliability is love's greatest form of respect. And if you want to be that kind of person, you start small. You keep your word. You show up when you say you will. You respond when you can, not when it's convenient. You maintain your tone no matter who's watching. That's how you build authenticity. And when you do, the right people will notice. Because real recognizes real. In relationships, consistency also teaches balance. It doesn't mean constant communication or endless availability. It means showing up with the same energy of honesty and effort every time. It's when your actions don't fluctuate with your emotions. It's when you can disagree without disappearing. It's when you can give space without withdrawing affection. That's what maturity looks like. Love without games, presence without pressure. You can fake charm, you can fake interest, but you can't fake consistency. It demands discipline. It's a choice you make every day to keep showing up with honesty, even when no one's watching. And that's what makes it beautiful. It's proof of integrity. Most people crave excitement, but the ones who stay grounded know that peace comes from predictability, from knowing that someone's heart won't shift like weather. When you find someone who's consistent, who doesn't make you wonder, who's the same behind closed doors as they are in public, that's when you understand what security feels like. Inconsistency makes you question your worth. Consistency reminds you that you never had to prove it. And that's the kind of connection everyone deserves. One that doesn't depend on mood or moment, one that remains steady in the storm and calm in the chaos. When a woman starts opening up emotionally, it's not a coincidence, and it's not casual. It's something sacred, something she doesn't do for everyone. Most of the time, she walks through her days with walls built from experience, layers of protection, brick by brick, formed by disappointment, judgment, or betrayal, and when she finally lets someone peek inside, it means something real is happening beneath the surface. Because opening up isn't weakness, it's courage disguised as honesty. It's a quiet whisper that says, I trust you with a part of me that the world doesn't see. Think about it. How often do people truly share what's going on inside them? Not the polished version, not the social media highlight reel, but the messy, raw truth. When a woman tells you about the time she failed, the dream she's too afraid to chase, or the scar that shaped her, she's not being polite. She's being real. She's removing the mask she wears for the world, and that doesn't happen without emotional safety. People think flirting is just words or smiles or teasing, but emotional openness is deeper. It's the soul leaning forward while the body stays still. It's the conversation that lingers in your mind long after she's gone. Sometimes she'll start small. Maybe she talks about her childhood or something she misses from home. Maybe she tells you about her bad day and laughs it off halfway through. But in between those lines, there's an invisible test. Can you handle this piece of me without judgment? Can you listen without trying to fix me? Because for many women, the world has taught them that emotions are too much, that being open is a liability. So if she's opening up to you, it means you've become her safe space, her emotional exhale, and that's not something you can force. It's earned through consistency, empathy, and presence. Imagine you're sitting in a quiet cafe. She's talking not about gossip or the latest trend, but about something that actually matters to her. Maybe she's telling you about a dream that didn't work out, or a friend she lost, or how she sometimes feels unseen. In that moment, you realize she's not performing, she's revealing, and the air between you shifts. You stop thinking about what to say next and just listen, because you understand that this is rare. This is human connection at its rawest. It's the kind of conversation where words are less important than the silence that follows them. The truth is, emotional openness doesn't happen in loud moments, it happens in quiet ones. It's when she texts you something vulnerable late at night because she can't sleep. It's when she admits she's scared of failing even though everyone thinks she's strong. It's when she shares a memory that still makes her voice crack a little. Those are the moments when she's letting you in, and you have to handle them gently, because when someone opens up like that, they're not looking for solutions. They're looking for understanding. They're saying, "Can you see me beyond the surface?" And you can feel it when she trusts you enough to do that. It's in the way her tone softens, in the pauses between her sentences, in the small sighs that carry more meaning than words ever could. It's not flirtation anymore. It's connection. She's not just trying to impress you. She's trying to see if you can meet her where she is emotionally, if you can hold space for her truth without shrinking from it. Because vulnerability is the ultimate risk. It's saying, "Here's my heart. Please don't drop it." The most beautiful part about someone opening up emotionally is that it's contagious. When she lets her guard down, something inside you begins to shift too. You start to reflect, to open up in return. That's how emotional intimacy grows, not through rehearsed lines or clever jokes, but through the exchange of truth. She says something real, and you find yourself saying, "You know what, I feel that too." And suddenly, two people who were strangers an hour ago feel like they've known each other for years. Because authenticity always recognizes authenticity. In daily life, you see this everywhere but rarely notice it. A coworker admits she's anxious before a presentation. A friend confesses she feels lonely even when surrounded by people. A woman laughs about her clumsy mistakes, but you can tell there's something deeper behind that laughter. Those are all windows, small openings into a person's soul, but most people walk by, too busy or too distracted to look through. They miss the chance to see the human behind the mask. And that's why emotional openness feels like magic. It cuts through all the noise. You can learn a lot from how someone opens up. If she tells you her dreams, listen closely, not just to the dream itself, but to the emotion behind it. Is there hope in her voice or hesitation? When she shares her frustrations, don't just nod. Feel what she's saying. Empathy isn't about fixing problems, it's about holding space for them. When someone feels truly seen, something in them heals. And that's the power of emotional openness. It transforms casual interaction into deep connection. Sometimes she won't say everything with words. Maybe she talks about her goals, but her eyes tell you about her fears. Maybe she laughs through her pain because she's not ready to show the whole truth yet. Pay attention. People reveal themselves in fragments, not all at once. If she's letting you see even a small part of her truth, it's because she senses safety in your presence. Don't take that lightly. That's not flirtation. That's trust taking its first breath. And maybe one day, when she feels completely safe, she'll share something she's never told anyone. Maybe a story from her past, or a secret dream, or a memory that still stings. And you'll realize in that quiet, trembling honesty that this is what connection really is. It's not grand gestures or picture-perfect dates. It's two people sitting in the truth of who they are, unfiltered, unmasked, and completely human. That's the kind of moment that stays with you. Because long after words fade and faces blur, what you remember is how someone made you feel seen. And that's why emotional openness is never just being polite. It's the most honest language we have. When someone shares their world with you, they're giving you a map to their soul, and you, in turn, get to decide what to do with it. Most people never realize that the deepest kind of attraction isn't physical. It's emotional alignment, it's trust, it's vulnerability. Because when someone opens up, they're not just letting you in, they're choosing you over their fear. When you pull back, everything becomes clear. People can say 1,000 things when you're near, but it's their silence that tells you the truth when you're gone. When you take a step back, when you stop initiating the calls, the messages, the effort, that's when you see where you really stand. It's like removing your hands from a spinning wheel to see if it keeps turning on its own. Because genuine connection doesn't stop when your energy pauses, it finds a way to reach back. You see, most people are addicted to attention, not connection. They crave the validation that someone is thinking about them, talking to them, checking on them. But when that validation disappears, when the good morning texts stop coming and the usual check-ins go quiet, only the real ones notice. Only those who care for you beyond the surface start to wonder, "Are you okay?" It's in that absence that people's true colors come to life. Imagine you've been the one always reaching out, starting the conversations, planning the meetups, asking about their day, and one day you just stop. Not out of anger, not to play games, but simply to breathe, to see if the connection exists without your constant push. Days pass. No call, no text, no haven't heard from you. That silence, it speaks volumes. Because when someone truly values you, they notice the void your presence leaves. They feel it like an echo. The thing is, genuine people don't need reminders to care. They don't wait for you to reach out first, they just do. When you pull back and someone immediately asks, "Where have you been?" That's not just curiosity, that's care. They're not checking in because they're bored, they're checking in because your silence feels off to them. They've noticed a pattern change, and that means they were paying attention all along. But when they don't notice, when days turn into weeks and your name doesn't even cross their mind, that's when you realize they were never really there. Maybe they enjoyed the attention, maybe they liked the energy you brought, but they were never invested in you. They were invested in how you made them feel. And there's a big difference between someone who likes your attention and someone who values your presence. Sometimes pulling back is the only way to protect your peace. It's not about punishing anyone, it's about observing who's willing to meet you halfway. Because relationships, whether friendship, love, or anything in between, can't survive one-sided effort. If you're always the one reaching out, you'll eventually feel empty. So you step back, not because you stopped caring, but because you want to see if they do. There's something deeply revealing about distance. When you're close, everyone looks engaged. They smile, they laugh, they talk. But distance strips away convenience. It forces effort to stand on its own. And if someone truly cares, distance doesn't fade the connection. It sharpens it. They'll reach across the gap because the bond means something to them. Think about your own life. How many times have you been the one doing all the emotional labor? The one keeping the friendship alive, the one checking in, the one making sure everything's okay. You convince yourself it's mutual, but deep down you know. If you stop, it all stops. And that realization hits like cold water. That's when you learn that some people were only present because you kept inviting them to stay. There's a kind of quiet strength in pulling back. It's not bitterness, it's clarity, it's you saying, if this connection is real, it won't need me to hold it up alone. And when you do, when you sit back and watch what happens next, you start to see who's genuinely aligned with your energy. The ones who care won't let the silence linger too long. They'll find a way to reach out, maybe a simple, "You've been quiet lately," or a voice note saying they miss your vibe. Small gestures, but they mean everything. People who are meant for you will always feel your absence. They might not say it right away, but they'll notice. They'll sense the shift, the missing warmth, the pause in your usual rhythm. That's because genuine energy leaves an imprint. You can't fake that. It's like walking into a room and realizing the light is dimmer than usual. Something's off, something's missing. And if they care, they'll try to bring that light back. In daily life, it plays out in simple ways. A friend who notices you haven't posted or texted back in a while and reaches out to check if you're okay. That's someone who cares. A person who messages you only when they need something and disappears when you don't respond. That's someone who never did. It's in those little moments that people show you their truth. Pulling back also helps you rediscover your own worth. You stop chasing validation, stop seeking answers from others. You begin to understand that real connections don't need to be begged for. They flow naturally. And you start to appreciate silence not as loneliness, but as a filter. Silence filters out the noise, leaving only the people who were meant to stay. Sometimes, when you pull back, the people who notice will surprise you. It might not be the ones you expected. It might be someone quiet, someone who's been watching from the sidelines, someone who always cared but never knew how to show it. That's another beauty of stepping back. It rearranges your perspective. It shows you who was standing closest when you weren't looking. And when someone does notice your absence, when they make the effort to reconnect, don't dismiss it. It means something. In a world full of distractions and temporary bonds, noticing is a rare form of love. It's a small but powerful act. The human heart saying, "I see you, even in your silence." The truth is, you never lose people when you pull back. You just lose the illusion of who cared. The ones who stay, the ones who reach out, those are your people. Those are the ones who see beyond the surface, who value your energy, not just your attention. Because when someone is genuinely connected to you, they don't wait for you to return. They come looking. That's why sometimes silence isn't distance, it's revelation. It reveals who was clapping because everyone else was, and who was clapping because they believed in you. It shows you who talked to you out of habit and who talks to you out of heart. It's not a test to punish, it's a mirror to reflect truth. And once you've seen the truth, once you've experienced that clarity, you can never unsee it. Because from that moment on, you stop begging to be understood, you stop chasing to be seen. You simply allow what's real to stay and what's false to fade. Pulling back doesn't create distance. It reveals connection, and sometimes that revelation is the most freeing thing of all. You know that feeling you get deep inside when someone's energy resonates with yours. It's quiet, subtle, but undeniable. It's not loud or flashy. It doesn't come with fireworks or dramatic declarations. It's that inner certainty that whispers, "This feels right," even if your mind is spinning with doubts. Most of the time, we ignore it, overshadowed by overthinking, ego, or past experiences that taught us to question everything. But the truth is, your intuition rarely lies. It's a guide shaped by every interaction, every observation, every tiny piece of energy you've absorbed from people over the years. It's a compass pointing toward honesty and authenticity. Think about daily life. When you meet someone and your stomach flips not from fear, but from comfort, when your heartbeat sinks to the rhythm of their laughter, when your mind feels at ease in their presence, that's instinct speaking. It doesn't require a checklist of signs or body language clues. It's a feeling that transcends words. It's not anxiety, it's not confusion, it's a calm awareness that this person's energy aligns with yours. It's the same sensation you get when you walk into a room you've never been to but instantly feel at home, like the walls themselves recognize you. We often overcomplicate things. We look for gestures, phrases, and signals, convincing ourselves that if it isn't obvious in action, it isn't real. But energy is subtler than that. It flows in glances, in the way someone listens without waiting for their turn to speak, in the ease of shared silence, in the comfort of laughter that doesn't feel rehearsed. When someone's flirting, it's mutual. There's no guessing game, no forced effort, no internal checklist of signs. It just is. You feel it in your chest, in your mind, in the way time stretches around the two of you. Your intuition is shaped by everything you've lived, every moment of joy, every heartbreak, every encounter, every subtle vibration of energy you've ever felt. It's trained you to notice patterns, to feel resonance, to distinguish what is authentic from what is performative. When you ignore it, you're often choosing confusion over clarity, complexity over simplicity. When you trust it, you bypass unnecessary overthinking and tap directly into truth. It's like having a radar tuned to what matters most. Not the noise, not the distractions, but the essence of the connection. Think about moments in life when you felt certain about someone long before words were exchanged. Maybe it was a friend you instantly trusted, or a mentor whose guidance you intuitively followed, or a stranger whose presence immediately felt safe. You didn't analyze their every gesture or statement. You didn't run mental simulations or create scenarios in your head. You simply felt it. That feeling, that deep knowing, is the same signal you can rely on when trying to figure out if someone is flirting with genuine interest or just being polite. Politeness leaves you guessing. It's designed to keep things smooth, to avoid discomfort, to maintain balance without revealing too much. It's friendly, safe, but often ambiguous. You can smile at someone 100 times, laugh at their jokes, and remain entirely polite without ever feeling a genuine pull. Attraction, on the other hand, is unmistakable. It carries certainty. It makes you aware, grounded, and fully present in the moment. Your mind doesn't have to debate. Your body doesn't have to signal. You simply know. It's calm, not chaotic. Daily life gives us countless examples of this. Have you ever been talking to someone and felt a strange yet comforting alignment? Like you're both moving in the same rhythm without realizing it. Maybe it's in a group setting, a work environment, or even at a casual social gathering. Others around you may be guessing, analyzing, or performing, but between you and that person, there's no pretense. Your energy simply syncs. You don't need verbal confirmation. Your instincts already understand the connection. We tend to doubt ourselves, thinking we need external validation to be sure of what we feel. We look for signs like lingering eye contact, touches, or repeated messages to convince ourselves that attraction is real. But those signs can be faked, they can be manipulated, they can mislead. The only thing that cannot be deceived is how you feel. Your body, your mind, your soul all respond instinctively to authenticity. You don't think about it, you feel it. And when you start trusting that feeling, life becomes clearer, lighter, and infinitely more aligned with truth. Sometimes it's about learning to distinguish anxiety from certainty. A chaotic mind may make you feel like connection is confusing or that attraction is random. But if your chest feels open, your mind feels present, and your interactions feel effortless, that is certainty. It's calm, not frantic. It's patient, not rushed. It's the kind of energy that doesn't demand attention but naturally draws it. It's the heartbeat of mutual resonance. Imagine two people sharing a conversation that flows without effort, that leaves both smiling long after it ends. That makes ordinary moments feel extraordinary. That's attraction in its purest form. No overthinking, no pretending, no doubts. Just the undeniable, palpable sense that this energy belongs together, at least for the moment, in perfect alignment. That is what you feel before any words are needed, before any analysis is required. Instinct is also a teacher. It rewards observation, patience, and presence. The more you pay attention to your own feelings, the more you recognize patterns of authentic connection. You learn the difference between being drawn to someone's energy because of their charm versus being drawn because of genuine resonance. You learn that calm certainty is stronger than fleeting excitement, that presence matters more than performance, and that mutual energy outweighs polite gestures every time. So the next time you find yourself wondering if she's flirting or just being polite, pause. Take a deep breath. Listen to your own feelings, not the signs others say to look for. Notice if your mind is at ease or racing, if your chest feels light or heavy, if your attention naturally leans toward her or flickers away. When you feel that calm, that quiet pull, that effortless connection, that is your truth. That is what attraction feels like. That is what you can trust above everything else. And so, as we reach the edge of this reflection, remember that life is less about chasing signs and more about embracing awareness. Too often, we are caught in the trap of looking outward for answers when the true insight resides within. The world will give you hints, moments, and gestures, but it is your own heart, your intuition, and your clarity that must interpret them. Confidence is not arrogance. It is knowing your own value and trusting the signals your mind and body are sending. Emotional intelligence is not a skill you learn overnight. It is cultivated through observation, patience, and the courage to face discomfort. When you walk through life with these tools, no smile, no word, no fleeting interaction can deceive you because you see beneath the surface. Imagine the power of approaching every encounter with the quiet strength of self-awareness. The next time someone smiles at you, whether it lingers or passes, let your mind register the truth without panic or overanalysis. Feel the energy in the room, sense the intention behind the gesture, but let your response emerge naturally from your own centeredness. Because the person who knows themselves does not live in fear of misreading signals. They live in the light of clarity. They understand that polite gestures are part of life, and genuine interest shines like sunlight in contrast to routine shadows. Think of your daily experiences as a laboratory of human behavior. Every interaction, every conversation, every glance is data for your understanding. The ones who are genuine will reveal themselves through patterns, consistency, and presence, not through rehearsed words or fleeting charm. Just as a wise gardener knows which seeds will flourish by watching how they grow, a wise heart knows which relationships are real by observing the rhythm and energy of engagement over time. And the beauty of this approach is that you no longer need to chase illusions. You simply allow reality to present itself, and you respond with confidence. You may have felt the sting of misinterpretation before. We all have. We have invested in people who only reflected a temporary desire for attention, and we have been left wondering if we were wrong or if we were not enough. But that is part of the journey. Every experience is a teacher, every misread signal a lesson in self-awareness. Do not see those moments as failures. See them as sharpening tools, honing your perception and strengthening your heart. The greatest leaders, lovers, and friends are those who have learned from these experiences, who rise from every misunderstanding with wisdom and calm insight. Remember, attraction is energy, not just words. It is alignment, not just expression. It is felt in the chest, in the mind, and in the silence between the words. Those who understand this live without anxiety about signs, without obsession over gestures, and without fear of rejection. They operate from a place of inner truth, seeing the world clearly and responding not to fleeting emotions but to enduring resonance. When you cultivate this awareness, you no longer ask if someone is flirting or just being polite, because you already know the answer in your soul. Your presence becomes your compass, your clarity becomes your map, and your intuition becomes your guide. The truth is, life offers few guarantees, but the guarantee that does exist is your capacity to understand yourself. When you trust your instincts, when you sharpen your emotional intelligence, when you cultivate patience and observation, you can navigate any social terrain with grace. The world is filled with distractions, performances, and half-truths, but you are equipped with the tools to see beneath them. The person who approaches life this way is magnetic, not because of charm, but because of authenticity. They draw people toward them not with manipulation, but with clarity. They inspire trust, they evoke comfort, and they attract relationships that are real. Imagine looking back years from now, reflecting on the connections you made and the people you let into your life. The ones who mattered will have arrived not because of clever words or staged moments, but because of authentic energy, consistent effort, and mutual respect. Your ability to see this truth and act from it transforms ordinary relationships into extraordinary experiences. Every interaction becomes a mirror, reflecting your own growth, awareness, and the energy you project. And when you master this, you will no longer waste time guessing, doubting, or overanalyzing. Clarity becomes your second nature, intuition your constant companion, and confidence your shield. And so, walk forward with the courage to trust your instincts. Allow your heart to recognize authenticity when it appears, and let go of the need to control or predict outcomes. The world rewards clarity and patience, not impulsive speculation. The person who acts from understanding rather than assumption lives with peace. They engage with others without fear, they respond without hesitation, and they interpret gestures with insight. Their life becomes a reflection of alignment, their relationships a reflection of truth, and their presence a magnet for those who match their energy. Always remember that the most profound connections are not manufactured through manipulation or superficial charm. They emerge through consistency, presence, and mutual respect. The ones who care will show up, the ones who are genuine will invest, and the ones who are real will resonate. Your job is not to decode, not to manipulate, but to observe, to feel, and to respond from the grounded center of your being. When you do this, every smile, every gesture, every glance becomes meaningful, and your interactions become rich with authenticity. Life is teaching you, moment by moment, to trust the quiet voice inside, the one that has been guiding you through uncertainty, doubt, and confusion. That voice never lies, it never wavers. It doesn't need validation from external sources because it comes from a lifetime of observation, experience, and instinct. When you honor it, you align with the rhythm of reality itself. You stop being a participant in guessing games and become a master of your own energy. You begin to recognize truth without explanation, see intention without proof, and feel connection without words. So carry this with you. Confidence is quiet, intuition is powerful, and clarity is magnetic. The next time you wonder if she's flirting or just being polite, pause, breathe, and trust what your own heart is telling you. Because at the end of the day, the world's gestures are fleeting, but the understanding you cultivate within yourself lasts a lifetime. It is in this space, grounded in self-awareness, sharpened by observation, and empowered by emotional intelligence, that every interaction becomes meaningful, every connection becomes authentic, and every moment becomes a testament to your growth, your clarity, and your unwavering ability to see the truth behind every smile,